Are you looking for the most effective martial art in a real fight? Well, look no further. These are the deadliest martial arts and fighting techniques. What began with sticks and stones developed into extremely intricate and deadly types of martial arts self-defense. I'm Mike with List 25, and are you ready to learn about the 25 most lethal martial arts ever created? #25. Bull Couture. An ancient Cambodian martial art having its origins on the battlefield, its name literally translates to pounding a lion. By using a diverse array of strikes and weapons, it may not be surprising to know that Bull Couture has been responsible for numerous deaths. 24. Kundo. Although technically it's no longer practiced, Kundo was an extremely lethal martial arts style used in World War II by the Canadian Armed Forces. First developed by Bill Underwood in 1910, after the war, several law enforcement agencies requested him to teach their officers. Bill refused, however, on the grounds that Kundo was too violent, and thus developed Defendo as a more civilian-friendly successor. 23. Jeet Kune Do. Developed by Bruce Lee, this hybrid martial arts style was his response to the flowery techniques used in other systems. Bruce felt that although these stylistic forms certainly had aesthetic appeal, their practical usefulness was nearly zero. 22. Sipalki. Practiced by the Korean military for hundreds of years, this martial art is split into three categories: thrust, strike, and slice. Unlike many of its Korean counterparts, however, its focus is much more on practical fighting techniques than artsy philosophies. 21. Capoeira. Capoeira was born in the slave ghettos of Brazil hundreds of years ago. Originally, it was a technique by which slaves could free or defend themselves against attackers. Powerful kicks and clever movements were disguised as dance, giving slaves opportunity to discreetly practice. Due to its dangerous nature and history, there have been periods of time where it's been outlawed in Brazil, and is even frowned upon in certain Brazilian social groups today. 20. Kajukenbo. Originating on the streets of the crime-ridden Palama settlement in Hawaii, this highly effective and to-the-point martial arts style combines numerous influences, and was developed specifically to give locals the ability to defend themselves against not only gangs, but also drunk Navy sailors who had a tendency of starting fights. 19. Casey fighting method. Developed by Justo Diego Serrano as the culmination of his fighting experiences on the streets of Spain, the Casey method is intended to be used for self-defense in violent street-level encounters. It's gained widespread popularity in recent years, and was even featured in the newer Batman movies. 18. Sambo. Sambo is a deadly combination of grappling and wrestling that was developed for the Red Army in the early 1920s. It was originally created specifically to improve the Soviet Special Forces hand-to-hand combat capabilities, but after a surge in crime, the government began training security guards and public law enforcement as well. Evidently, it's a bad idea to rob banks in Russia. 17. Dim Mak. This ancient martial arts style centers around attacking an opponent's body through certain acupuncture points. Attacking these dim mak points, as they're called, can lead to knockout or death. Maybe the most dangerous part of this martial art, though, is that many people underestimate and misunderstand just how deadly it can be. 16. Kioku Shin. This martial art is a full-contact, upright style of karate. It has deep philosophical roots of self-improvement, discipline, and respect. It's known as one of the harder martial arts, as it allows and even focuses on full-contact sparring that uses very little protective gear. As one of its spirits states, "The heart of our karate is real fighting. There can be no proof without real fighting. Without proof, there is no trust. Without trust, there is no respect." This is a definition in the world of martial arts. 15. Jukka. Similar to other non-sport martial arts, Jukka doesn't focus on scoring points or having correct form. Its sole purpose is to enable an outnumbered defender to turn the odds in his favor during a violent street assault. Unlike some other styles on this list, however, it does make an attempt to at least use reasonable levels of force. 14. Silat. Silat hails from Malaysia. If you notice, many of the art forms on this list still have an underlying philosophical and moral focus. Silat, however, is all about violence. While there's debate and uncertainty surrounding its origins, it's all about exploiting your opponent's weaknesses and taking them out as quickly as possible. 13. Kung Fu. Kung Fu is actually a blanket term for all Chinese martial arts. While there are many different styles, the main components boil down to striking your opponent with super speed and insane power. 12. Systema. A lethal combat method employed by the Russian Special Forces, Systema is similar to Krav Maga in that its sole purpose is to do as much damage to your adversary as quickly and efficiently as possible. 11. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Jiu-Jitsu gained popularity around the world when Royce Gracie won the first, second, and fourth UFCs. The effectiveness, however, comes from its emphasis on ground fighting and giving smaller practitioners an advantage by employing body leverage. 10. Muy Thai. Otherwise known as the Art of the Eight Limbs for its heavy inclusion of elbow and knee strikes, it should come as no surprise that such a deadly form of martial arts self-defense would emerge from a place like Thailand, a country well acquainted with violence and conquest. 9. Kapu Kuialua. This unconventional Hawaiian martial arts focuses on bone breaking, joint manipulation, and even open ocean warfare. The name itself actually means two hits, and apart from having a long history on the battlefield, practitioners go to great lengths to turn the odds in their favor, with some warriors even coating themselves in coconut oil so they couldn't be grappled in battle. 8. Bacon. Also known as Vacon, this Peruvian martial arts style was born on the streets of Lima. It blends numerous martial arts and is designed to quickly inflict maximum injury to an opponent. Due to the emphasis on hidden weapons and deception, it's not unusual for fights to end in death. 7. Arnis. This martial art born in the Philippines also goes by the names of Kali and Eskrima. Like other martial arts on this list, discipline and moral values are of high importance. One notable feature of this art is the use of a cane, although historically a bladed weapon longer than a knife was used, as implied by the Malayan word Kali. 6. Pugilism. Also known as boxing, this combat sport is seen in numerous variations around the globe. It's notoriously dangerous, as the head is a primary target, and it was even outlawed in several countries during the 19th century. 5. Vale Tudo. Portuguese for anything goes, this is a full-contact combat sport popular in Brazil. It has a very limited number of rules and takes techniques from numerous martial arts. The only problem is that it's so dangerous and bloody that it often creates quite a stir in the media. For this reason, most of the events are held underground. 4. Ninjutsu. Practiced by the shinobi, or ninja, in feudal Japan, this martial art focuses on unconventional warfare, espionage, and assassination. Its practitioners were even sometimes referred to as hinin, or non-humans. 3. Rough and tumble. Often considered one of the few fighting styles native to the US, this form of violent encounter was very popular around the time of the American Revolution. With emphasis on maximum disfigurement, it often involved everything from men gouging out each other's eyes to literally biting the tongues of their opponents. Very few of the other entries on this list even come close to attaining the level of violence in these colonial-era bloodbaths. 2. Line. An acronym for Linear Infighting Neural Override Engagement, line was used by the US Marine Corps for most of the 90s and is still employed by numerous special forces. However, it was succeeded by the Marine Corps martial arts program in recent years due to the fact that it was relatively inflexible. Because it almost always involved ending the life of your opponent, the military couldn't use it in non-emergent situations, such as peacekeeping operations. 1. Krav Maga. Developed for use by the IDF, Krav Maga is a non-sport martial art, meaning it doesn't concern itself with the opponent's well-being. In fact, it generally assumes no quarters, or the idea that your opponent intends to kill you. For this reason, these brutal techniques have been developed with the sole intention of inflicting as much pain as quickly and efficiently as possible, which very often includes deliberately ending the life of your adversary. So, do you train in any of these? What's your preferred martial art? Let us know in the comments below, or tweet your answer to us at List25. Enjoying our lists? Be sure to click that subscribe button on the bottom right and the notification bell so you don't miss out on new ones every Monday through Friday. Share them with friends and help us consistently conciliate curiosity. And if you want even more lists, check out these videos here or just head to our website at list25.com.